Hey, what's going on? Navid Moasis here. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur and creator of Virtual Summit Mastery, and I help people just like you exponentially grow your email list, influence, and revenue. And for this session, we are going to get into how you can write better email copy. And my guest today, he's going to share some magic words you can actually inject into your copy so you can actually convert more. You can, persuade people to take action and all that kind of stuff. He shared it with me in a mastermind, and his name is Mike Kim. We actually go way back. I had him on one of my very first summits back in the day, and we connected. That was kind of a long time ago. And now he's helped some of the biggest influencers actually, been behind the scenes of their launches, even writing their books. And he's one of the best when it comes to copywriting, and especially kind of direct response is really, really good at this. And he shared, as I said, in the mastermind, I was with Mark Wade, he shared kind of some of these magic words, and he's kind of presented about this on some events before, but he's never really shared it kind of openly in a setting like this. So I was really excited when he kind of reached out, and we're gonna do this one here. So you're gonna love this one. You can just kind of take action on everything he's gonna say right after this and get some massive results in your email marketing. So how does this sound? Definitely let me know in the comments if you're on here for this one. This is gonna be great. So Mike, what's going on?
Dude, what is going on? It's so good to be with you. So good to see you guys. Thank you for joining us. And like Navid said, we go like way back. And whenever we get together, it's just like, holy cow, how's your business doing? And it's pretty amazing, like, where we've come. And it's because of list building. And it's because of copywriting. And we both know this, right? And so I'm super excited to just kind of share a few things.
Before we do that, I mean, you can share briefly. I mean, I mentioned you worked with some influencers. I think you worked with John Maxwell and Suzanne Evans. I think with some other guys as well. Maybe you can get in. How did you even get into all of this and become like really good at this? Like really, I mean, you're amazing at what you. I mean, they wouldn't hire you to do their copy if you weren't like world class, because they could like afford pretty much anyone, like some of these names. So how did you get there?
Yeah, so my background was I was always a good writer. And a couple of years into my career, I ended up as the chief marketing officer for a company just outside of New York City here. And I've never told this story before, but the people who ran this company, they did not actually speak English very well. So I had to kind of like try to understand what they were saying. And they were marketing maybe to like a very high end and very educated market. And so I had to like learn on the fly. I mean, this was like trial by fire. It was like baptism by fire. And I knew that if we could just message things, if we could just word things a little bit better, we'd see results. And so my first whole year working in the C-suite, the chief marketing officer of this big company, all I did was rewrite stuff and hire some writers to help me rewrite stuff because we had so much stuff. Long story short, 2 years into my tenure there, they 6x'd their profits, and so I was like a hero there. But then I kind of was like, wait, if I could do this copywriting thing without going to an office and putting a suit and tie on, let me look at building an online business. And here you and I are, man. It's like, I'm just a lifestyle entrepreneur, same deal, And if you can write, I mean, you can do anything in this online business. And so that's why I'm so passionate about it. Words were my way to freedom. So
love that.
Then word got around, I just wrote blog posts. I wrote, stuff for podcasts. I created a podcast, and I took a couple of people's programs, they're influencers, that you and I know pretty well. And I became like one of their best students, if not their best case studies. And what happened was they would actually hire me to write for them and then refer me to other people. So, Donald Miller, John Maxwell, Suzanne Evans, Catalyst, this huge credit union based out in the Phoenix area. I worked with them on a rebrand. And all of it really comes down to messaging. And if you think about any kind of online marketing today, well, the one thing you do every single stinking day is you write. You write an Instagram caption, you write a tweet, you write a Facebook post, you write emails. And so every day, if you're in online business, the one thing you always do is write. And so, that's why it's so important.
Love this. And I mean, this can obviously be applied to a lot more than even your email marketing. But I mean, primarily, I guess that's the focus here, but you can use it on Instagram, YouTube, descriptions, whatever you want, right? And you shared with me kind of before kind of coming on this call, you shared like you recently helped John Maxwell grow a list to 2 million, and I think 83% opt-in rate for the lead magnets in a very crowded niche. So that's pretty awesome. So that's maybe a little teaser at your skills. I mean, you're definitely good and legit when it comes to this. There's a lot of different copywriters out there, but most of them are not kind of skilled in direct response and stuff like that we're going to talk about here, so you can actually convert more just kind of random browsers basically into qualified leads and buyers for your products and services. So Mike, how about we go into your presentation here, magic words. That's kind of what it's all about here.
That's what it's all about. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen, guys, so that you can see, and then I'm going to full screen it.
Yep.
And so this is all about the art of using persuasion, psychology, and nuance in your copy. As we just talked about, I believe so much in the power of writing, and there are a lot of copywriters out there. And unfortunately, copywriters now are just kind of like photographers. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's sort of like anyone who has a camera is now a photographer, right? And nowadays, especially in online marketing, anyone who's read like one book on copywriting or has like written a social media post for somebody is a copywriter. And that's not true. There's a huge difference between brand awareness copywriters and direct response copywriters. Brand awareness, they just kind of write blog content and they just kind of let the world know about a certain brand that exists. But direct response is where the money is, because you're really, really trying to get people to take an action. Now, the thing is, in online marketing, everything now is direct response, because you want people to click a link or opt into a lead magnet or sign up for a webinar. So there's transactions happening at every step along the line. Now, a lot of people feel weird writing. Writing is difficult, and they don't really know where to start or how to do it. And they don't want to sound like, the proverbial used car salesman, like buy now, this is awesome. So what I want us to understand here, the reason that writing and copywriting is so important is that we need to understand that when we influence language, we influence thinking. Words have made people fly on different airlines, buy different clothes, eat at different restaurants. Words have power. And when we influence language, we influence how people think. Now, how do words fit into your marketing? How do we fit them into your list growth and your email copy? And I, as a copywriter, that's one thing that I do. But the bigger thing that I really do is provide overall brand strategy. And so whether you're email marketing or putting out, lead magnets to grow your list, like we have to see where copy fits in to the big picture. So I just want to kind of zoom out real quick, and then we're going to zoom right back in, because with every brand, there are 3 identities to that brand. There are like 3 little sub-identities, and all 3 of them are important. They're like legs on a tripod. They're like legs on a stool. If even one of them is off, the whole thing topples over. Now, I'm an alliteration guy. I like starting things with the same letter just because it makes it easier to remember, at least in my head. So these are the 3 identities to every brand in no particular order, right? But there's a verbal identity, there's a visual identity, and there's a value identity. The verbal identity is obviously how a brand talks. If you think about Apple or Nike, there's a certain way that those brands talk. They use short, punchy sentences. It's usually like, think different, right? And it's just like this real short and sweet slogan. The visual identity of a brand is obviously what it looks like, what your opt-in page looks like, what your emails even look like, the fonts that you use, the lead magnets that you create, the thank you pages. All of that is your visual identity. And the value identity is obviously your positioning. It's the way that you're positioned relative to the competition, right? And so all 3 of these have to be aligned for you to have an aligned, powerful, on-point marketing message. But most people pay the least attention to the verbal identity. And the verbal identity of a brand is determined by copywriting. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an example. I just pulled this for fun, but check out this ad. It's from Louis Vuitton, high-end fashion, right? High-end fashion brand. You can see here, right? They've got the really expensive bag and the designer sunglasses and the really expensive cufflinks and the watch, and nothing in this ad costs less than probably $1,000. I mean, their value identity, very high positioning, right? Their visual identity, very beautiful. But look at what I wrote on the bottom. Price matching, coupons accepted, low prices every day. And for extra effect, I put it in Comic Sans font. Right?
Yeah.
And you know where I got that copy from? I mean, I got that from Walmart.
Oh, really?
I got that from Walmart. Yeah.
That's funny.
And so when you look at this, it feels wrong, right?
Yeah.
You look at this like something's wrong. Like you're like, what? I can't figure out what's wrong. And this is what the actual ad looks like. I'll show you. Sometimes home is just a feeling. Profits from the bag benefit conservation cotton initiative in Uganda. And you see the wildlife in the back. And this is a travel case. And you got the sunglasses, you got the watch, you got the navigation, all this kind of stuff. But this is what I'm talking about. The verbal, visual, and value identity just lined up. And that's when you have great marketing, when you have a cohesive message. And so, is it okay if I just continue? Is this kind of
absolutely.
like registering?
This
Cool.
is great. This is great. Continue.
Okay, cool. So, when we talk about email copy and we talk about direct response, right? Because we want to get people to take action, we have to understand that marketing isn't about closing a sale. It's about opening a relationship. Everything that we're teaching in this summit, in this program, everything Navid teaches, like it's all about opening relationships, opt-ins, lead magnets. All of that is about opening a relationship. So we can get to the sale, but our initial touch points with people have to be about opening a relationship. And if we can take that approach into the way that we write our email subject headlines, into the way we title our content marketing, blog posts, podcasts, whatever, making it easy for people to connect with us, the more sales, the more results we're going to get. So another illustration, I just pulled this up here. I just pulled this up from a podcast, a random podcast, right? And I'm not going to say who it was. I know who the person is, but I just like pulled these titles up. And if you look at these titles, right, you actually can't figure out what this show is about by reading the titles. Like if I asked you, can you describe what this podcast is in about 3 words? You wouldn't really know. I mean, no stress, no growth. Okay, maybe it's about life. Then the real meaning of beauty. Okay, maybe that's about life. But then a doctor is starving doubts. And then Colt Cabana, I don't know who that is. Or maybe you do, or maybe you don't. Career cred. Allison shares her story. We don't know who she is, right? And so what we have here is not terrible copywriting. What we have here is a failure to open a relationship because I don't understand. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I can't wait to be confused, right? So not titling our subject headlines, our email copy, any opt-in stuff that we put out there, and making it simple to understand makes it really, really confusing to people. And conversely, it blocks us from building that relationship with them. Anyone who's ever gone out on a date or with your spouse when you first met and they weren't clear on their intentions, right? You were confused. Nobody likes that. And it makes it harder to grow a relationship. Now, I pulled a screenshot from another friend of mine's podcast, and just a quick look at this. You can tell that it's a marketing and a business podcast. Demystifying the Facebook pixel, the new rules of Facebook marketing, love and business, behind the scenes of my website redesign, right? All the way at the bottom, new Facebook Messenger ads, expert secrets and online strategies. It's very clear. It's very clear what this podcast is about. It's very clear what, if these were email subject headlines, what this business would be about. So let's get into the nitty gritty, and I'm going to cover quite a bit of stuff today, but let's get into it. Let's first talk about writing a stronger opening line. I actually picked this up from a friend of mine named Rye Schwartz. He's a copywriter. Actually, his girlfriend partner, his girlfriend life partner, she actually used to be one of my virtual assistants. So we all got to know each other really well, and we would like trade marketing secrets. And this was one of the most valuable things I learned from him. So what you do to write a strong opening line in your email copy is you start with this phrase: I never thought it was possible, but ... And what you do is you think about the subject that you're writing about. So let's say that I'm talking about list growth or email marketing, right? And so I got my brain turning, and this is actually a real opening line I wrote in an email to my list a while back. And this is how I thought it through. I never thought it was possible, but most email marketing is weaker than Shaquille O'Neal's free throw game. Now, if you're not familiar with Shaquille O'Neal, he's an NBA Hall of Fame player, one of the most dominant big guys to ever play in the NBA. Horrible free throw shooter, could not shoot at all. And I know that my list is pretty familiar with sports analogies because I use them a lot. And so I wrote this line, and then here's the trick. To make it even stronger, what you do is you actually delete. I never thought it was possible, but ... So the actual line reads, most email marketing is weaker than Shaquille O'Neal's free throw game. So what happens, you got a real punchy opening line, right? And so this whole, I never thought it was possible, but it gets your creativity and your thoughts flowing to think of something that sounds so ridiculous that when you then remove the top phrase, it actually becomes a very authoritative sentence, right? So when I wrote this to my list, people wrote me back and said, that is hilarious. And that is beautiful right there, because I elicited an emotion in my email marketing. I gave them something to laugh at. I used humor in that particular message to build a relationship with them. And they would write me back. I mean, how many of us would want our subscribers to love our messages so much that they would write us back, right? So they read this and they're like, oh man, I got to read the rest of the email. And that is one of the keys to writing a very, very strong opening line. So use that on your very next email, or heck, steal this one. You got my permission. I wrote it. So you can swipe that one and use it on your very next email and just see what happens. All right. So now I'm going to share a few phrases with you, some that I've written, some that I've learned from some other copywriters, great copywriters, Gary Halbert, Phil Jones, all these guys, John Caples, all the greats, right? And so this is some stuff that you can use inside the body of your emails or as email subject headlines. So I'm going to walk you through these, but I kind of put them in order so that you can almost see and hear a sales pitch come together. All right. One of the most powerful subject lines that you can use is this one. Not sure if this is for you, but ... Okay. Not sure if this is for you, but ... And what you do with this email is that you use this to let your list self-segment. An example, one of my clients a couple years ago, a very big television personality in the relationship space. He's an African-American gentleman. He was on BET, Oprah, all these big news media outlets. And he had a pretty decent-sized list. He had a list of about 50,000 people, right? And when he contacted me, he said, Mike, I have this list. I've never understood what to do with it. I did not do a good job of segmenting it, but I want to host a webinar for secrets on having a better marriage. But if I send this to everyone on my list, all the single people will be offended that I sent them something to remind them of the fact that they're still single. What do I do, right? So I'm like, Doc, don't worry. We'll figure it out. And I had him use this line, not sure if this is for you, but ... Why is this such a great subject line? There's curiosity. You want to know what this thing is. And it sounds apologetic. You're kind of admitting up front that you know this might not be for everybody. So I'm sorry, but I'm just passing this on. So he wrote this email, not sure if this is for you, but next Thursday, I'm hosting a webinar on 5 secrets to having a better marriage. And you may not be, if you are married, we'd love for you to come. You may not yet be married, but maybe you know someone who is. If so, would you mind passing this along to them? And so what happens is everyone who clicks to opt in to the webinar, he can now tag them as married couples. And anyone who doesn't, they're not tagged, and he's got to take some more time to self-segment. But now he's not spamming them. He's not making them feel like he's sending them irrelevant content, even though it is irrelevant content. This subject line enables him to get that message out, broadcast something, and then just set up some segmentation on the back end. Now, you don't want to overuse this, but this is a great way to get some segmentation going in your list already. Okay, another phrase. As you may know, this is a wonderful way to open an email. It's a wonderful way to get into a sales pitch, because you never want to sound like a know-it-all, right? Nobody likes a know-it-all. So, as you may know, list building is one of the most important components of building an online business. Now, if I didn't know that, but I read an email from Navid, and he said, as you may know, it makes me feel like, oh, yeah. And I don't embarrass myself. I don't feel psychologically like I'm being told by an expert what I should have known, right? So again, psychology, persuasion, nuance. It's a very nuanced phrase. So anytime you need to deliver hard and fast information and very authoritative, use this phrase to soften people up, to open up their mind to what you're about to say. Okay, next phrase. I wrote this for a client, and I've used this for several clients. Many of my clients are in the thought leadership space. So they are speakers, coaches, consultants. You're never too young to be a great blank. You're never too old to be a better one. So in this blank, the first client that I wrote this for, we put the word leader, because they had a database, they had an audience of people all over the age range, all over the spectrum demographically. And they didn't know how to write a message that would appeal to all of their people. But what they were doing was providing leadership content, leadership training. So I said, okay, you're never too young to be a great leader. You're never too old to be a better one. And that's true. You're never too young to be a great communicator. You're never too old to be a better one. That is true. I mean, you could have a 7-year-old that communicates great, and you could have a 7-year-old that communicates great. Different stage in life, different age, obviously, but that statement is true. So you can use this phrase if you are in a business or you're growing something in your online business, or you're reaching a very, very demographically wide audience. Play around with this phrase. It's going to help you communicate to everyone and point to the aspiration, the leader, right, or the speaker or the communicator, whatever that is, in your messaging. All right, let's go look through a few more. What do you do when you've got a launch going, or you're opening your cart and you want to get people to respond? How do we remind them to buy or sign up without sounding like a used car salesman, sounding really pitchy? Simple. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to signing up. I'm guessing you haven't gotten around to registering for this webinar. Just use this phrase. And now I'm going to walk you through a few transitional phrases that are going to talk about how to move into a sale. Navid, this is my favorite part. So hang on. All you guys watching, hang on.
This is so
where it
good.
gets...
I mean, everyone is on here. I'm sure you're enjoying this. This is like so actionable, and you can just implement it right away in your email marketing or any copy you're doing for your business. I mean, this is awesome, man.
Yeah. So these next two phrases are like the 1-2 punch. And dude, I remember telling you at lunch when we were together at that mastermind about this combo here. So this, guys, this is like, oh, you gotta use this. So you start like, let's say you're on a webinar, or let's say that you're writing an email, whatever it is. You go, so just out of curiosity, okay? And then you lead right into this next phrase. What do you really know about fill in the blank? Okay, so just out of curiosity, what do you really know about blank? So let me use this as a real example here. We're talking about list growth on this summit. We're talking about list growth in this session. And like Navid has like built me up in front of you guys, has told you a little bit about my expertise and the people that I've worked with. So if I were pitching this webinar to my list, or this summit to my list, and I did a webinar, or I wrote some sales copy or some email copy, I would say this. So just out of curiosity, what do you really know about how the biggest influencers grow their email lists? What do you really know? What do you really know about how people like John Maxwell or Michael Hyatt or Amy Porterfield or Donald Miller do to grow their email lists? Now, what happens here is that what psychologically I'm trying to accomplish is I'm trying to get people to admit they actually don't know. But I can't come out and just flat out say, you don't know anything. I can't go Game of Thrones and be like, you know nothing, Jon Snow. You know, because then I just sound like a jerk. I sound like a know-it-all. Now, I'll often see this in real time, especially on webinars. I do this in email copy, so I want to encourage you guys to use this in email copy. But I will do this even on webinars. I will say, what do you really know about how A-list influencers grow their email lists? I want you to respond in the chat. And they'll start writing things like, well, they always had a big list, or they just bought their email list. And we all know that's not true. Everyone starts from zero in this business. Everyone starts from zero. And I'll start reading these responses out. And here's what happens. After a while, one person, then two people, then three people, they start to say this. I actually don't really know. I don't really know. Come to think, I actually don't know how Navid built his list. I don't know how Mike built his list. I don't know how Maxwell built his list.
Do you use,
and then here's what I
use this in the beginning of the webinar usually, like in the early stages of the webinar, to kind of solicit some engagement in the chat and stuff like that if it's a live webinar?
Yeah, you can, but the front end of the webinar usually has a lot of like content and engagement anyways, right? Because we all know where you dial it in from and stuff, like what's the biggest struggle you have. True. But right here is when I pivot into the pitch, and they don't know it's coming, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? Because they don't know it's coming. Yeah, and so they'll start to say like, actually, I don't really know, and then I'll say something like, do you think it would be good to know these answers? And they'll say, of course, yes. And I'll say, good news, I know somebody who does know. Me. Right? I just point to myself with this goofy picture. And they all start laughing. They have a good laugh. And if in all seriousness though, if I could paint an analogy of this is like when we are sick, we're in pain, we go to a doctor, we sit down and he asks us what's wrong, and we tell him nothing. I feel fine. Now, that's a total lie. That's not true. There's a reason why we're in the doctor's office. And guys, your webinar, your email funnel, your opt-ins, your summits, that's the doctor's office. People have signed up for a reason. They know something's wrong, but as soon as they sign up, they want to psychologically forget that anything's wrong. They forget why they signed up for your summit or your webinar, your list in the first place. And what you have to do is you have to remind them of their pain points, but do it in a way that psychologically does not make them feel belittled or ashamed or put down. And that's what this does. And so I'll share that, and then I'll go, well, when would be a good time for you to learn how to grow your list? When would be a good time for you to host your first virtual summit and grow your list? When would be a good time? 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now? And of course, everyone's going to say, well, I would love to do it right now. Of course. And now they think you're going to pitch them, and you just go right into this. Well, I bet you're a bit like me. You have ambition, you have goals, you want a lifestyle entrepreneurship life, right? You want to be able to have that money and that margin and that freedom, but you're also busy, you're overwhelmed, you're not sure where to start. I bet you're a bit like me, right? So you just kind of communicate that empathy, and they think the pitch is coming. But dude, I just kind of string this out, and I'll say, well, before you make up your mind, I want to share a quick case study. And bam, you can just share a case study right here. Like, you can even make this, guys, remember, every phrase I've shared so far, you can use as an email subject headline. I mean, if I'm in a launch, if I've been in Navid's launch and I get an email and I know like the deadline's coming, I get an email 2 or 3 days before the deadline, or even the day of the cart close, and the subject line says, before you make up your mind, ... I'm like, oh, wait, what's inside there? Like, is he about to like tell me something? And boom, you can just talk. Before you make up your mind, I want to let you know about 3 bonuses that we have. Now it's bonus time. And you just heap on the bonuses, right? And just share them. And I got this part from Phil Jones. This is amazing. You have 3 options the way I see it. And there's always 3 options. I'm not talking about 3 price points, guys. I'm talking about just 3 options. Number 1, you can do nothing. You can go about your regular life, having watched this summit and learned about list building, and just kind of do nothing. You can do that's an option. And option number 2 is you can try to figure this out yourself. You can go out there and buy 82 books on copywriting and a bunch of books on email marketing, which are all outdated by the time they're published anyway. And that's why we do a summit, because it's in real time and we give you the latest cutting edge information for this year, not from 5 years ago. But yeah, you can go out there and do it yourself. Or number 3, you can join Navid and I in learning how to list build. And you can do this faster. You can do this easier. You can do this with us. We will coach you. We will give you all our secrets. We will look over your copy. We will look over your landing page. We will look over your strategies. So you have 3 options. And then you go into this. What's going to be easier for you? Out of those 3, what's going to be easier? And I've tried sometimes what's easiest. I actually like easier because it's a very subtle, it like makes people still feel like they're in control. They're in control. So what's going to be easier for you? We'd love to have you sign up here. Now, let's say that, whether you're in an email campaign or within a sales pitch, just like I'm doing right now, like I'm modeling a sales pitch literally on a webinar the way I would do it for you guys right now as I teach this. And now they've heard the offer and you pull this fast one on them. Oh, just one more thing. And you add in a final, objection crushing bonus. Now, here's the phenomenon psychologically. All of this is about psychology, right? What happens when you are in that doctor's office and he says, well, you know what? Actually, you've got a clean bill of health. Why don't you get dressed and get ready to go? You get dressed, you get ready to go. The doctor, says, hey, it's great to see you. I'll see you in 3 months. But then he says this, oh, wait, Mike, just one more thing. What's going to happen? I'm going to freeze. I'm going to be like, oh, did he find something? Oh my God. Am I dying? Do I have a terminal? What he's just done there in that scenario is, I thought I was good. My attention's fleeting. And he just, boom, brought it right back. He just, like a fishing line, just snagged my attention right back. Like we've all been there, even in a work scenario where we're in a board meeting or a company meeting, and we all think it's time to go. Everyone's packing up their laptops, they're moving their chair out, they're standing up, and then the boss says, "Oh wait, just one more thing," and everyone just goes, "Oh." But what that is psychologically, what's happening is he's just re-grabbed all their attention. So if you got a bonus stack, a killer bonus stack, this is a very powerful way to kind of to herd their attention back again so that they can hear the final pitch that you have. And one last thing, once people buy, here's what happens next. You want to reinforce that they've just made the right decision to spend money with you. So you signed up for the summit. Here's what happens next. Number 1, check your inbox for a calendar reminder and a webinar link. Number 2, join our free online Facebook or whatever group or Slack channel. And number 3, make sure that you watch the quick intro video. You just want to give them steps and let them know that they've just taken the right kind of action. So, Navid, I want to take a break here real quick. And I just want to check in with you. I have some more stuff, if that's still okay for me to share. Are we okay on time?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just wanted to share. This is so good. You can just implement this. I'm excited to just use some of this right after we get off here to just test it out, like for some of the emails we have and some of the copy. I use some of this already, but there's always kind of room for improvement, even if you're in a seasoned copywriter, email marketer, and all this stuff. But if you're kind of newer to this is just a really good crash session for you to just get all of this here. And some of this obviously can generate you quite a lot of revenue in your business as well if you use it, and also make kind of the people on your list feel good and feel better, as kind of you alluded to here before.
Yeah, exactly. Opening a relationship, right? Opening a relationship. Now, this is stuff that I'm about to show you guys that I did not come up with, but I grabbed it. So this is a funny story. A couple of years ago, I moved into a new house, and I was super excited about getting a fast internet connection. So I called. If you guys are at all familiar with Verizon, which you probably are because of their cell phone service, but they have an internet and cable service called Fios. And so I remember calling them. I was super excited about signing up because their speed was supposed to be some of the best in the New York City area. And so this is copy from a sales call that I was on as a customer with Verizon. And I heard this this sales rep walking me through this, and I actually asked him to stop, and I grabbed my notebook because I was like, some copywriter wrote this, and this is killer stuff. So I'm going to walk you guys through a few phrases. This is This is crazy good stuff. Okay. One of the things he's told me, he said, I'm telling him about the house. I'm telling him about what I do for work. And Navid, this guy says to me, hey, Mike, this is something to get excited about. It only happens 1 to 2 times per day. And, when I think about this phrase, I think about how ridiculous it is, because things that happen 1 to 2 times a day, that's a frequent thing. I mean, I brush my teeth 2 times a day, right? But he was telling me what to feel. He was like, this is something to get excited about. And it only happens 1 to 2 times a day across all the millions of people that we serve. So now I felt like what is this? I'm feeling curious. There's mystery here, and I'm feeling special. And what he said, I still remember this. He said, whoever lived in your house before you was also a Verizon Fios customer. So we're going to knock off like $300 on the setup fee. There's actually no setup fee. And guess what I felt? I was like, whoo, yes, I win. Yes. Right. And he's just like literally walking me through the emotions to feel. And when I told him what services I had used in the past, and I had tried cable TV, regular cable internet, he whipped me with this phrase. Well, cable overcharges and underdelivers. We undercharge and overdeliver. You all should take that copy right there. You should take that phrase right there and use it. Cable gives you only 77% of the speed you pay for. We give you 114% of what you pay for. And here's the thing. I know I'm Asian. Everyone thinks I'm good at math. I'm not good at math. I write English words for a living, which is really funny, right? But I know 114 to 77, that's like a big deal. I didn't even do the math. It just feels like a big deal. And so if you're like in the fight, in your space with competitors, people are ripping you off, people are copying your stuff, boom. These guys are overcharging and underdeliver. I undercharge and overdeliver, right? Our results, they get results only 77% of the time. We give you 114% of what you pay for. Or change the numbers, adapt it. This is a killer phrase. I mean, they basically trashed the competition without trashing the competition. I felt like, why would I want to pay?
I'm gonna use this.
Yeah,
man.
right. It's crazy, right? And 77%, like for all of you who grew up in the United States, from school, that's like a C plus, right? Yeah. That's exactly what I felt. Oh, cable TV is like they're like a C plus operation. That's exactly what I felt.
This guy should go into online marketing, man. This guy would do good.
Yeah. I'm sure they hired some crazy writer to write all this stuff,
He just he was just really good at delivering it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he was reading it right off a script. Yeah. I could tell. There's no way this guy was he was just a sales rep. He was given a script. And this one, I mean, like you guys are here in good hands, right? Like the presenters on this summit are like incredible. Navid is incredible. And so if he, like with his credibility, all these years of building his list and teaching people online marketing, when you hear people raving about our product, this is what they're talking about. That's a perfect way to segue into a case study. When you hear people raving about VSM, this is what they're talking about. When you hear people raving about List Building Summit, this is what they're talking about. It's a great way to lead in and reestablish your brand equity, right? It's a great phrase. All right, this was killer. Like, so he asked a lot of like my productivity tools, and I said, well, I need really fast, high-speed internet because I do a lot of video recording and I do a lot of online teaching. So he said, well, yeah, that's going to be key for you. When you use Skype, the picture will be seamless instead of frame by frame like cable. I mean, like he must have had enough people. They must have had enough people like me call in and ask about their services that their marketing team wrote this up. But use this phrase. That's going to be key for you. When you use our product, the experience will be seamless. That's a great word, seamless, instead of choppy or shoddy or whatever it is like the competition. So again, this is not a word for word. If it fits your industry, use it word for word. But take this and swipe it and adapt it to your needs. This is just such brilliant writing. And this was the final kicker for me, right? He said, well, okay, considering that your prior tenant in this home was a customer of ours, and it's this time of the year. He said this to me: let me see which way would be more cost effective, because I want to, he gave me all these packages, and he pretended I know he's pretending to try to figure out which one's going to be the most cost effective for me. And he just does his little calculations, and then boom, he tells me, this is what we have. But this phrase made me feel like this guy was watching out for my own good. I mean, I really felt that way. I was like, okay, he's really watching out for me. And so these phrases, you guys have this all, the slides and everything like that. I want you to implement this. If you have a sales call team, if you have sales reps that are on the phone with people, or even in your emails, right? Even on webinars, use these phrases to just pull people into your copy. So, yeah, I could talk about this stuff forever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you have more. If you have more, feel free to keep going. I don't know.
Okay, let's keep going. All
Yeah,
right. I hope you guys are hanging on, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
people would kill me if I just cut you off here. So just keep going, man.
Okay, we'll go all the way. So, let me give you guys some short copy captions. Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. How do we do some direct response copy on those platforms where people are just scrolling through their feeds really, really quickly? I've pulled some of these captions. I've swiped some of them from other internet marketers that I've seen online that have been really good. Christian Mickelson, he's a coach. Some of the other guys out there that I work with or that I follow, or some that I've actually written for. So you'll have all these. I'm not going to spend too much time on these, but here's a quick way. Like, I'm just like thinking of as if you're using Twitter. Let's double, triple, or even 10x your business together. I'll coach you. Details here. Boom, link, right? Want to double or even triple your sales? I'll help you do it. Here, boom, link. Want to skyrocket your sales or commissions quickly? I can help. Boom, link. So don't spend too much time thinking these through. Just fill them in, right? And just put them right into your social media queue. Just bang them out. After a while, people, remember, the rule of 7, people don't really see an ad or a promotion until they've seen it at least 7 times. So you're not going to flood people, but you can mix this up. So I've given you 7 little quick copy captions here. Is your business growing too slow for your liking? I'll help you kick it into high gear. Here's how. Boom. How much more money do you wish your business was putting in your bank account every day? Link. Final day to build your brand one-on-one private coaching sessions with me. Boom. People are loving these build your brand coaching sessions. So many breakthroughs and thank you message. I particularly love that one because it shows people they're not the first to go, right? So many breakthroughs and thank you messages. Get yours here. Boom. So don't think about this one too much. Just take this, swipe it, put it into your buffer or your co-schedule or whatever social media, queue service that you're using, and just bang these things out. Don't give too much thought to Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn like captions. Just get this stuff out there, get it circulating, and then get them to opt into your list through these links. That's what you want. So these are really benefit-driven copy captions. Now, I'm going to close with something that I created for some of my clients and students. And this is what I call just a super simple story-based sales page. And I will tell you, as a copywriter, I can write a pretty good sales page, but it's a lot of work. I don't really enjoy writing sales pages because there's so much work. And from the reality is that for many businesses out there, they hesitate from launching or doing any kind of big promotion or anything because they're afraid of creating all the marketing collateral. So I created this framework just to make it a little bit easier for people to both create a sales page and case studies. So let me walk you through this. What you want to do is start with this as your headline. I mean, make this the big, huge headline at the top of your sales page. One of the biggest questions we get about our list building course is, what do you actually do in the course? All right? What do you actually do in the course? And your second line, as soon as you start the body copy, should be this. Well, here's a story that illustrates exactly what we do. Mike Kim was a marketer, 9-to-5 guy, worked a corporate job, and he wanted to have career freedom. He wanted to become a lifestyle entrepreneur. He had a lot of like skills, but he just didn't know where to start. And you tell this story. I mean, I'm telling it as if I'm the client. And he didn't know where to start. And he joined a summit that I held, and he walked through a lot of the sessions and started to really think about what his message was and how he's going to build his business. And you put a subheading there. Believe it or not, most lifestyle entrepreneurs start with a hungry 9 to 5 corporate job person and a desire to take life into their own hands, right? And boom, just fill that in. You're seeing me like say this as we speak. And so you tell a little bit more of the story. You know, Mike was based in the New York City area. He loved marketing, but he didn't like working for just one company. And when he joined our program and our summit, he really started to see that he could take a lot of the stuff that he knew at work and transition it over into the online space and start teaching. But he didn't know how important building a list was. And you just continue to tell the story. Then a few years ago, he signed up for our courses and he started taking action. And one by one, he started putting new pieces of content out there. And people saw how valuable his content was. We coached him. And all of a sudden, he started getting attention and became one of our best students. And we hired him ourselves. And he was recommended by us to some other influencers in the space. And, you know, he's doing great. And then you go into this heading. The 3 most common questions people ask about the program are, boom, and you just list them right in bullet form, right there. Don't answer them yet. Just question 1. How much money can I expect to make? Question 2, how often are the coaching calls? And question 3, you know, can you share one person that has had success with this? And then what you do is you just, boom, you repeat question 1, how much can I expect to make, or whatever that question, and you just answer the question. And then you do the same thing with question 2. Boom, do the same thing with question 3. Now, think about this. You got a lot of copy there on that page by now, just by telling this story and answering these questions, right? There's a lot of copy on this page already. And as you do that, you then start to talk about what you particularly do or your business does. Whether you're a solopreneur, you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're an online expert, or you have a brick and mortar business. Here's what I do to help C-suite or to help people who are in their 9 to 5 job transition into creating an online business. I teach the modules. I share the case studies. I provide, 2 coaching calls a month, whatever. And you just start to list everything that you do. Boom, 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 boom. Right? And now your page is getting longer. There's more content on that page. And finally, the kicker is this. Meet Mike, who is now enjoying life, traveling around the world, and building a business, running a business all from his laptop. Boom. Navid's got a picture of me. He's got a quote from me. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm writing this from an island in Fiji. And boom, that's your testimonial. And you've got a call to action. Book a call today or sign up today. And bam, you're done. And the beautiful thing about this, you can just follow this framework and make them case studies. If you don't have a sales pitch, just make these case studies. And if he could do this with me, he could do this with 3 other students from 2 other programs if he wanted. And all of you can use this framework. And so now you've got a case study, you've got a sales page if you want, and you've got just like a way to collect all this information. And that's a story-based sales page. And you can implement this today too. So, brother, I'm going to stop my screen share here because that's what I've got for everybody
sure,
today.
But
but
this has been incredible, man. So actionable.
Cool.
This is great. As I said before, I'm going to take some of this and just kind of right away after we get off here, I'm going to, revisit some stuff and inject this into my email marketing and other copy we are doing, even sales pages, as you saw here. I didn't even know you would cover this, but that's awesome. I don't know if you have any kind of final words for anyone who's on here. If they are like really a beginner when it comes to kind of copywriting and stuff like that. Obviously, we went into some stuff here, but do you have anything to say to them to kind of some words of encouragement to kind of get this going?
So my final encouragement to you today is to implement just one thing that you've learned from this presentation on the very next email that you write. here's the thing. We could have talked all about like marketing philosophy and psychology and all that. That doesn't matter unless you actually put things to use. And what I've given you today is not like the 99% fluff. I've given you like the 1% that really changed the game for me in my marketing, for my clients. This is stuff that I've done with people who have millions of folks on their list and people have started from zero. This stuff works. And when it works, you're going to have positive energy and emotion behind email marketing, behind list growth. And it is the backbone of your business, whether you're an online business or not. It's the backbone, right? Your database is the backbone. So I want to encourage you, implement any one of those phrases that I shared, implement some of those short copy captions on social media, implement something from that Verizon FiOS sales call or this story-based sales letter. When you do, you'll see results. And when you see results, you're going to keep on doing it and you're going to become that much better of a writer, a marketer, and you're going to enjoy the benefits that are going to come to your business as a result of it. So just whatever your biggest takeaway was, implement that right away and let us know how it does for you.
Awesome, Mike. And where's the best place to connect with you? I know you have this kind of podcast you've been running for a long time and some other resources and stuff like that. Where's the best place to connect if people want to learn more about you?
Yeah. So you guys are watching us here. You like audio content or video content. My podcast is a great place to find me. Just put Mike Kim into your podcast player, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, whatever. I'm there. My show is called the Brand You Podcast, and it's all about helping people grow a profitable personal brand business. So if you're a speaker, coach, consultant, freelancer, online teacher, it's really all about marketing you as a personal brand. So you can check me out there, the Brand You Podcast. And on social media right now, my favorite channel is Instagram. I love it. I love the mix between video and pictures. And so you can follow me there at Mike Kim TV. I don't have, tons of thousands of followers like Navid does. So I will read your DMs and answer your questions. And that's just a great way to connect. So on Instagram at Mike Kim TV, and we'll just continue this journey together.
That's awesome, Mike. And yeah, I don't have tens of thousands of followers on my Instagram either, but I do have a pretty good email list. That's what my focus is. But I mean, social media is great for connecting. Instagram is the most personal way. So definitely check out me and Mike there, send us a message. But also in the comments below, let us know what you think about this. What are you going to implement from this session? Because this was so actionable. Just kind of a few things from this can get you a massive ROI in your email marketing, on social media, on your sales pages even, which I didn't really know he would get into a lot, but he did, and it was awesome everything he shared here. So let us know in the comments, and this is gonna be awesome to see kind of how you implement this and what you're the most excited about using for your email marketing and your business. So I'll talk to you guys very soon.